The whole industry has been lying to you about AI model. Everybody tells you to go ahead and generate a picture, then start posting some reels, and somehow you're gonna make $10,000 per month. So I've actually made this video for everybody that thinks that that is the way forward. This whole video will break down A to Z every single angle of this business with no bullshit. And I'm giving it to you guys now on this YouTube video for free. In return, I ask for a few things. Number one, you subscribe. Number two, you leave a like. And number three, you drop a comment. Also, before we get started, I want to let you guys know I do have a free Discord channel as well. So you can come inside and ask me anything at any time of the day. And you know what? You might even catch me on one of the voice calls. So join there. I'm always active and I'll see you guys in the video. Let's fucking get it. So when you're first starting in this space, you're obviously thinking, oh, it's an AI model, right? So it is, but listen, you have to actually still use a real model because just selling an AI picture and AI video is so limited. You don't want to fall into the same rabbit hole that everybody else has fallen into. So what do I mean by this big rabbit hole, right? So everybody, when they start, again, they hear the wrong information by the wrong people and they think they just need an AI picture and some AI videos and they're going to make loads of money. No, these fans are from America, and these American guys, these 30, 40, 50-year-olds, they have been around the rodeo a lot, okay? They have been on multiple OF pages before. They've subbed to multiple models before. And again, this isn't a new concept. To you guys, it might be new. This has been around for a long time. I have been utilizing this for a long time. I've saw it all, okay? So you do actually still need a real model for your AI model. I know it's a bit confusing, but remember, the outside of the profile can be AI, but the actual content that you sell to the fans behind the paywall on the model or the platform that you're using, that is a real model, but it is faceless content. Okay, so it doesn't show the model's face, but the body and the skin color matches your AI model. And that's how you get around that. Because again, remember, AI videos, you can only make 5-6 second videos. And again, they're not looking realistic at all. Okay, but with this, you can sell 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-minute videos, $500, $600, boom. And you can make a lot more money and have real fans that are going to, again, retain a lot longer and spend a lot more money. So just remember that when you're doing this. You can skip the steps and you can just sell AI pictures and videos. But again, you're just wasting fans that would stick around for months to even years. Okay, so let's go into how you will actually acquire a model. So how do you guys even acquire a model to run for your faceless model? Okay, so number one, there's a main thing that you guys need to understand to be compliant with the platforms. Okay, now this is the same with FanView. This is the same with all platforms that allow AI creators and real creators. Okay, so remember, when you create your FanView account, you are the owner. Alright guys, again, I just wanted to quickly mention about my one-to-one mentorships. Before you guys carry on enjoying all this sauce, let me just speak to some of the serious people out there. If you are serious about starting your agency and you do want to get started right now and make money and have a guarantee in place that you will make a 2x on your investment, then there is one slot left to work with me. And I will hold your hand from start to finish. And by the end of it, I will give and hand off a fully fledged AI model agency for you to keep running and keep scaling. Now, if you want access to this, there's going to be a type form within the description. So make sure you click on that. And if it makes sense, we will call you and I will speak to you personally. Okay. So when you create the account, this means that obviously you will receive the money. The payout options are under you. The payout options isn't under anybody else. It isn't under the model. It is only under you. Okay. And then when you're setting up, you choose AI creator. Okay. You don't choose human made. That comes second. Now, real content is allowed. Okay. And the reason why it's allowed because you collect the KYC after. Okay. Now let's go into this. So when you're first setting up your page, whether it be on FanView or it be on Stacked or it be on OF, you're going to see, obviously, you're going to need to sign up. So you're going to sign up. And again, remember, this is the way the KYC works. Okay. When you are setting up the FanView account, use your ID. You don't want to use your faceless model's ID, or you don't want to use a random person's ID. You want to use your ID. This prevents your account from ever being hacked, okay? So again, do not use the faceless model's ID, a random person's ID, or even a stolen ID, okay? So become a creator, start earning. And again, account details, that doesn't really matter. You can just name it whatever because it can be changed at a later date. Make sure, again, your subscription price at this point when you're setting up, it does not matter. Just again, verify your ID and get approved. Okay, that's the main thing. If you get approved, awesome. That means you can start actually doing it. So why you can't just use random content on the internet for your faceless model? So some of you thinking, why can't I just go ahead and download content off, all these various 18 plus sites that are faceless and just use it on FanView, right? So if you guys don't know that FanView are a legal compliant company, they're a UK company. All of these companies are OnlyFans, FanView, Stacked. The list goes on, okay? These are all compliant platforms, okay? For payouts, they need to be compliant. So do not do any of these things here. Do not scrape content from Google. Do not use random faceless videos. And definitely do not use this, okay? So remember, this is very, very important, okay? FanView can still flag you if there's tattoos that are not like matching up on some of the faceless videos. And again, your funds can be frozen, and that's something that you don't want to happen. Again, in the past, we've tried to skip steps and we've had stuff frozen. So you don't want to go down that route and try and skip certain steps. Okay, learn from my mistakes as well. Okay, and again, so many people get flagged on a day-to-day basis. So for the structure of how the profile works, as I mentioned before, it is the most essential thing to do it like this, okay? So your profile picture is AI, your wall post is AI, but the content you sell is real model content. And for the real model content, make sure that it's from the chest down, and there's no face showing, and again, it is owned by you. So now you guys are thinking, Keelan, Matthew, where do I even source my model from? How do I even get a model? Okay. So before you do that, there is one key thing that you need to understand. Okay. Number one, obviously, she needs to be 18 plus. Number two, ideally, she's going to need a passport. Okay. A passport is pretty essential, and make sure that her country that she's in is not banned by FanView or payment providers on OF or all these different platforms, because if so, then you won't get it passed, okay? So make sure you check the country's ban list before you go ahead and start, okay? Now, for the process, what you actually need to get to verify the faceless model content on FanView, on OF, or on whatever platform it is. Number one, when you have sourced your models, when you have sourced your model, you're going to need to get a picture of her holding her ID. It's going to be a headshot, okay? Details here. Make sure her face is visible. The ID is readable. It has great lighting. There's no blur. Okay, avoid any cropped ID. Obviously, no filters and obviously no sunglasses. Okay, and then another one, she needs to take a picture of just her ID. Okay, and then also she needs to take a selfie holding a piece of paper that says the FanView username and the full date. Okay, with obviously the word FanView. Okay, and then the last one, they need a full body shot so they can see from basically her head to like the bottom of her kneecaps. Just a full body shot. She can set a timer and go and stand back. Okay. So then obviously FanView on their website, for example, if you're using FanView, they have their own release form. So you literally just download their release form from Google. You can literally just type in here, FanView co-authorized creator. If you type in this, you will see it right here. There's a full document right here and exactly what you need. And it also gives you the model release form. So you can go ahead and download that and fill that out. Then, of course, once you're submitting it, send it over to dmca@fanview.com with the signed release form, the ID pictures, the headshot, the verification username, and the full body photo. And again, result, FanView will obviously verify this model. It will legally link it. It will allow you to sell the model's content, and it will protect you from any copyright strikes. And again, reduce any risk of frozen funds. But if you do skip these steps, then funds will be frozen, KYC will be requested randomly by FanView, and they will pause your payouts, account could be banned, and withdrawals can be locked. Okay, so there is no point rushing, okay, and there's no point skipping steps. It's super important. So for the final checklist, okay, for account setup, email verified, when you have your faceless model, KYC completed. All right, AI creator, pick a username. Okay, now for the model compliance, super important. Make sure you have her passport ID, headshot holding ID, username and date photo, full body, casual photo, release form signed, and send that to FanView. Okay, so just as a sort of golden rule, okay, never ever ever steal content. I guess that's sort of obvious now after what I've said already. Don't steal content. Don't skip documentation processes. It's super important that you don't do this, because if you do, you're gonna get payouts locked, buddy, and you're gonna be very angry when you've got people to pay and you can't pay that money. So again, don't assume faceless is safe, because you're gonna assume, oh, there's no face to it, I can use anybody. Then no, just do it properly. Okay, don't skip the process, literally. Okay, and again, this protects you so you can long-term scale the model and multiple models too. Again, it protects you for safe payouts. There's going to be no frozen funds, and you've got a clean business structure, right? There's no point doing it if there's not a clean business structure. So identifying the best types of creators, okay? This applies to outreach, onboarding, faceless AI models, and even real life models onto FanView, okay? So this is the primary success factor, okay? You're really and truly going to be looking for motivation and reliability, okay? Looks are sort of secondary, because again, a lot of models, you can run faceless if they're ugly. So it's no problem on that front. So again, this is the most important part. Motivation, they're going to deliver content on time. They're going to be active. Maybe they're free to make custom videos. And again, reliability plays a part in motivation, right? So again, main risk to avoid, KYC failures based on country ID. Don't start the model, don't start the AI model until you've got the faceless content KYC'd and ready to go, because you just don't want to get shit fucked up, okay? So this is sort of like a little triangle, which you guys need to understand, okay? At the bottom of the triangle is consistency and communication. There's geographics, KYC and considerations. There's flexibility and niche. There's motivation over looks and content volume, okay? We're going to go into every single one right now. So let's actually start right at the top. So choose creators who are motivated, reliable, and consistent. It is most important, okay? If they're ugly, it does not matter. But if they're going to do the content, they're going to do the videos, and they're going to be active, that is what you're looking for in the long term. Looks are flexible. We can change them, no problem, okay? Output, okay? And follow through matter more than aesthetics, okay? This means basically just taking action more than just caring about the perfect picture, the perfect look on the model, the perfect eyebrows or the perfect, eye color, whatever. Fuck all that, okay? That doesn't matter, okay? So just for quick checks, respond fast to these models, follow instructions, make sure they can commit to a schedule, and they can take feedback without drama. That is super, super important. So for content volume, you're obviously going to need a vault. So obviously go for creators with an existing library. If they already have existing content, makes your life so much easier, okay? If not, and you're trying to get models, don't be picky. You know what I mean? Do not be picky. That's something that you should not do, okay? So for the standard that you want is, again, high volume beats scripting early on. Again, so you don't really, when you're getting this content from this model, let's say she doesn't have content, you're not going to be, again, giving her loads of content scripts, because it's just going to overwhelm her and she's not going to do it, and she's not going to do it good. So it's just easy to, again, tell her to do 5 separate scripts in just her bedroom. The same thing, but in different sets, okay? That sort of thing. So for flexibility in appearance and niche, for faceless strategies, obviously you can adjust the outfits, the niche angle, bits of makeup. And again, this makes it super easy to test different sub niches when you're running AI models with a faceless model. You can pretty much mix and match her to absolutely anything, even if the model, again, doesn't want to do that in person. Maybe she doesn't want to make herself look like a goth, or she doesn't want to make herself dress in a cosplay outfit that seems a bit weird. You can do that with the AI. So again, remember, the KYC considerations, obviously avoid the countries where the KYC is not allowed. There's a country list. You can again go to the FanView website or any of these platforms' websites, and it will all be on there. It's mainly going to be some South American countries and South Asian countries. Filipino is one. They don't allow Filipinos as models on their platform. Consistency and communication. Obviously, again, creators must deliver stuff on time. If you've got faceless models, they have to deliver it on time, right? Creators must stay responsive. communication quality is a prediction factor of long-term performance, right? If she's not really communicating well with you, she's not delivering the faceless content quickly, she's not getting the stuff done that needs to be done, then obviously in the long term, that's going to obviously show, right? So a quick rule of thumb, okay? Looks are secondary, okay? Motivation and reliability are the filter and are the main filters, okay? Always check the ID list regularly. I keep stressing it because it is super important, okay? Quick decision checklist. Obviously, check off if they're motivated, they can deliver high volume, they're flexible, and their KYC country is okay, and if they're a responsive communicator. Okay, so now let's actually get onto how you actually secure your models, because this is super important. Because you're like, yo, Matty, bro, how do I even get a model? Where do I even find a model? I'm just a random guy. I don't know any girls. I don't know any women. Like, I'm not a pimp. Like, how do I do that? Right? So it's simple. And don't get it confused. You don't need to be one of these guys online that call themselves a pimp and, do all these things. It's super easy. It's a good business if you're a good person. If you're a bad person, it's going to show that within your business, okay? If you treat these faceless girls that you're sourcing and finding well, they're also going to treat you well. Referrals, delivering stuff on time. Trust me, it makes the process a lot easier. So, again, let's go into the main thing. Sourcing models. This is one that has worked for me for most of my faceless models that I got within my agency. And most people are kind of shocked, right? So on Telegram, there are these groups, these OFM group chats, OFM jobs, OFM hiring, OFM networking. There are so many group chats. And one day I was like, you know what? What would be smart? If we ran a Telegram bot, there's plenty of people that sell like $10 for Telegram ads, and they will basically blast a promotion message in all of these OFM chats. And it's like $15 a month. So I was like, you know what? Let me just pay this guy. I need faceless models. He's going to blast it. It's going to be going out every single minute of the day on multiple accounts for $15. It's a no-brainer. So I did that. And yeah, I basically just said, looking for faceless models, PM me, and left my app on the message. And what that does, it gets you loads of leads. You may get some scammers, or you may get some real model leads, okay? And if you do, it's great because you only offer them a percentage deal anyway to start. So you cannot get scammed, okay? You don't do any upfront payments for anybody or anything, okay? That's one way you get scammed in this industry, right? It's like the main thing. Everyone gets scammed when they start paying up front. In this industry, you don't do that, okay? If it's a reputable person, a legitimate person that's vouched by real things and real platforms and real businesses, sure, pay up front. But if it's a random person saying, I've got a faceless model, I've got this, I've got that, do not pay. You're going to get scammed, okay? So just be smart when you're buying things or when you're doing deals, okay? Don't be stupid. Don't think that everybody is here to be your friend. They're not, okay? It's the sad truth. But this industry is very bad. It's a very fucked up industry. There's a lot of people in this industry that are here to fuck you. And if you don't think smart, you're going to get fucked. Okay. And you don't want to get fucked. Okay. So, again, expect very mixed responses. You're going to get some scammers. You might get some real models too. Vet every lead correctly. Okay. It's pretty simple how you do that. You can even ask ChatGPT. Honestly, it's simple. How do you vet a lead? Okay. You speak to them. You understand them. You get some voice notes. Get a picture proof of them. Vet them, obviously. And if you can get on a call, get on a call. All right, so value-based networking. This is a good one. Agency and creator relationships, okay? This is one where I have found success in as well. So again, if you're just in this industry, you're networking with people, maybe you're sharing some source, maybe they're sharing some source too, right? You'll meet people in these group chats, and you'll just be networking with people all the time within this space. And when you do that, maybe they have some models that they're using on OF that maybe they obviously don't run on FanView, and they don't mind making free money in their pockets, an extra 10% for them for doing absolutely nothing, just by giving you the model's KYC to run on FanView, right? So you can do it like that, and you can literally partner with loads of OF agencies and just say, listen, I'm going to run your whole FanView model. I just need KYC, need the content. I'm going to run it. I'm going to give you 30% passive or 20% passive or 10% passive, whatever deal you want to give them, and you can run it like that. Okay, and again, lead with value. Cross promotion, shared resources, operational help. Okay, this is again just to get trust of these people that you're networking with to want to help you, so you can help them as well. So again, make it seem like you've got value, because if you don't have value, they're not going to want to help you. They're not going to want to network with you, and they're definitely not going to want to give you their models to run, right? So be smart. And don't be one of them beggy, annoying guys. Just asking for shit for free all the time. It's so annoying. Don't be one of them guys, okay? So again, ask introductions to models. They're currently not used on FanView. Just what I said. Pretty simple. We run this page together. I handle the FanView operations. You earn a percentage. Boom. Simple. Again, another one. You can run Facebook and Instagram story ads to get models. You can keep the ads very subtle. You don't need to mention adult content, and obviously stay compliant with Meta's policies. Broad ads. Blue page opportunity as a quote, as an example. And again, you can use retargeting to find your ideal demographic, age, interests, and move interested leads back into DMs or WhatsApp. And again, vet before you commit. This is an example of one of the stories that we posted as an advertisement that worked very well. We secured a lot of UK models doing it this way. So again, we did this from UK and creating content, looking for beautiful girls in the UK area who are up to take their spice to the next level and become a household name. DM us today, Aura, and it will be a swipe up. And then on our Instagram page, our agency looks good. It looks professional. Okay, so let's go here. Okay, do not pay up front. Offer a percentage generated from the fan view. This is obviously what I said before. It's super important. Again, when you're pitching this to models or you're pitching this to agencies, social proof is a big thing, and some of you may not have that. So again, you're gonna have to lie, buddy. Get some results, find some results, do something, get something, right? You're going to need something, okay? You can say to them, we already run multiple models successfully. Again, you're framing it. You can say, listen, your faceless content could earn several thousands per week. If you deliver, we will expand to 5+ more accounts and expand your earnings. And again, you're going to want to position this as sort of like a long-term stability, stable partnership, okay? It's not like a one-off gig, especially if you're, getting these models from like an agency, right? Like you just want to make it seem like it's not a one-off gig. We're going to scale this to multiple models. You're going to earn a lot of money, okay? And again, this is for vetting scams and like sort of like a risk control assessment, okay? Verify the previous work and social presence, okay? Look for real consistency, real engagement, professional communication, stable identity across platforms. If so, ask for a video chat, before you commit to signing a deal and, getting KYC and so on and so forth. Again, do not share any sensitive business information until you've established that trust. Use official release forms, obviously. And again, follow up the relationship building. Keep the communications regular. Okay, if you're communicating with these models or these agencies on a day-to-day basis, they're gonna be like, okay, this guy's a good guy, he's a good businessman, he's great with communication. They're just gonna like it. They're gonna be more willing to do more things, whether that be more content or whatever that be. Okay, so again, always share earning updates, content schedules, any next steps that you may have for them to do for you. Again, you can give the model like a voice in the content direction just to make her feel like she's doing something, but you don't have to. Again, and maintain a secure log of like your outreach, your agreements, and your payouts, so you have everything noted down, okay? And again, for your ads, they must remain pretty subtle to avoid bans. Again, build value first, sell the long-term upside, not just like a quick payout. And again, compliance and vetting these people is like a non-negotiable, right? So again, here's your checklist right here. You can pause it, take a screenshot. As soon as you get these leads, you're going to respond to them very quickly, right? You're going to acknowledge their message. And again, you're going to keep your tone confident and professional. Do not overwhelm them and try and rush them into a deal. These are cold leads. It's like any business, okay? It's like if you're running ads or you're running DM campaigns, okay? It's all the same. You have to warm up the leads, even with your conversions on subscribers on like these platforms too, the fans. You have to warm them up, okay? Cold is the worst. So you have to warm them up. So once they do reach out, you can have a little message, something like this. Thanks for reaching out. You can send a voice note. It would be better. You can say, hey, thanks for reaching out. We help creators scale safely with long-term revenue share setups. Quick questions. Are you open to faceless content, or do you prefer being on camera? Again, if they prefer being on camera, it's low-key better for you. If you could run a real model, it's better than running a faceless model because you can still use AI for that real model, for the funnels too. So it's better. But again, you're running more profit margin when you do the faceless model option, because if they're using their face, they're going to want more money. So just remember that. Pros and cons of it all, right? At the end of the day, that part is sort of up to you. Again, establish authority without sounding like salesy. Okay, you don't want to sound like a salesman. You want to sound like a friend, a good businessman, someone trusting. Someone trustable. So again, show your legitimate experience is safe to work with. You know, you can say stuff like you run structured operations, you know, you have a reputable process. And again, you prioritize safety and consistency, right? And again, optional proof, you can share with them some results of your other models that you can take screenshots from my Discord if you want of my results and do that. I give you my permission to close these people. You can use my screenshots if you want. Um, just say at least credit me in the end once you do make them money. Again, avoid sending sensitive screenshots or any personal data. Again, positioning line, you can say something like, you know, we keep things simple, consistent, clear expectations, and, you know, transparent payouts, because all they care about is money. At the end of the day, that's what they want, and that's what they're here for, that's what you're here for. You know, if you make them feel like it's reliable, it's good, they're going to be happy and they're going to do it. Okay? So, the goal, obviously, is to move them over to WhatsApp. Obviously, once you've got the lead hot on Instagram, ask permission, but like, yo, is it cool if we can go over to WhatsApp as I'm more active there, as we love the sound of, you know, what we're hearing right now. You know, if you can, confirm them on a quick call. If you don't speak their language, let's say they're, you know, Latina and they only speak Spanish, then you're cooked. Okay, just handle it in text or get somebody that speaks Spanish to give them a call. Okay, so if you're open to it, you can say something like, yo, we can do a quick call on WhatsApp if it's easier to explain all the setup and answer all your questions. What language do you speak? Again, get the language. And again, from the call is very important. The call on the model, on the closing the model, is super important. Over in my Discord, I'm actually going to release to you guys a full model call, okay? A full call with me and a model and me closing her, so you can see how I speak, how I close her, and the sort of stuff that I say. So that is in my Discord right now. So the outcomes that you want to set clear expectations. You want an agreement on terms, and obviously you want to get the next steps confirmed. So this is what you're going to cover. What they want, their income goal, their comfort level, and again, their boundaries, what they want to film, what they don't want to film. Okay, and you're going to explain to them how you operate, your sort of workflow, your posting, you know, letting her know if there's anything she needs to improve on. Deal structure, you're going to tell her about the revenue share, the payout timing. You can tell her about the safety and privacy, especially because she's going to be a faceless model. She's not going to be showing her face. Nobody will ever know it's her. She can still run her own pages. She can do what she wants. This is just extra free revenue income for her. Okay? And again, you can say, you know, we'll trial structure you with one page. If you're happy with the revenue, then we can move you on to 5 different pages with your content where you can earn 5 times what you would earn on one. So you can say something, you know, you can tease that to get her excited. And you can say, you know, let's just start with one page. If you like the results, we'll scale you from there. And that's how you run that. So again, after the call, send a short little recap with the next steps. Keep the tone excited but professional. And again, if she hasn't responded, check in after 24 hours if they do go quiet. You don't want to be spamming and blowing it up. You don't want to seem desperate, okay? It's super important you do not seem desperate. Again, you can say something like this: great talking today. Next steps, prefer da. You can send them some stuff, okay? Again, it is completely optional though, okay? So scaling angle, replicate content across additional accounts, and again, increase deliverable guarantees, okay? Now, don't do this. Do not use any pressure tactics. I know some of you guys think you're smarter than you are, but don't go in there trying to sell her and, you know, do all these weird things, okay? These are real people. This is a real girl. They're not the most intelligent people most of the time. Some of them are, but a lot of them in this space don't seem to be the most, you know, smartest bulb. You know, the brightest bulb in the shed, if you know what I'm saying, if you're catching the drift. So it's all about just making sure she trusts you and she feels there's a safety aspect. Track every lead in a CRM or a log on Google Sheets. And again, follow up with the models after 24 hours. Okay? Now, that is how you get models. We're going to move on to the next section, which is actually going to be mindset and scaling. And we're going to get onto the more exciting things after. But it is just super important that you guys understand these first few ones. Because remember, if you skip the steps, it will not work and you will lose a lot of time and a lot of money. So it's all about listening and not skipping the steps. All right, let's get into it. So the reality of scaling. Many people, when they first come in here, think that it is just posting a few AI model reels that will lead to quick, effortless income. All right, it's not the case, boys. I wish that was the case. There is a lot of work that goes into this behind the scenes. You can see from the Miro board that I've made alone here, the video that you're watching here, that it is not as simple as just posting reels, or this video would be 2 minutes long. All right. There's actual real things that go into this. Okay. So in reality, scaling past 10K a month requires structured systems, consistent funnels, and disciplined execution. All right. Now, identify your limiting beliefs and replace them. Okay. These are the most common limiting beliefs that I see myself. I don't have the time. I'm not tech savvy. I don't know how these bots work. My first attempt failed. All right. Now, this is what you need to do. You can do this. Some people do this. I recommend it. Some people journal. Some people write their goals down. Some people do this. Now, I do think it's super important that you do things like this, especially if you're starting out. Because, again, if you're one of these people that have this bad sort of mindset that's been like conditioned and framed into you from young, it's going to be very hard to get out of that. But there is a way, and when there's a way, there's obviously going to be a will, okay? So you can write stuff down every single day of your goals, or you can say stuff like what you're bad at. You know, instead of saying I'm not tech savvy in your head, you know, you can say stuff like I can learn da 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 X amount of time. I can do this, I can do that. So whatever is limiting you, just tell yourself you can do it, because I promise you, you can. There are a lot more stupid people out there that are doing it, okay? So again, define success by stage. Stage A is 10K per month, okay? At 10K per month, you will have a few stable models, you will have steady traffic, and again, you will have consistent chatter coverage, all right? So again, replication to scale past 10K per month. You're obviously going to have more models, more chatters, and more traffic sources, okay? But again, the core processes overall do end up staying the same. So you guys do also want to know, what is your daily commitment, okay? Because again, when you are scaling, it's not like a one-time push. It's a daily thing, right? You're always going to be generating traffic, guys. You're always going to be monitoring chats, whether you like it or you're not. And you're always going to be doing posts on your own agenda, always trying to crack new funnels and doing things yourself, okay? And again, you guys need to understand that you need to treat problems as system upgrades. If you guys ever come into problems, I see it a lot. And I saw it with one of my one-to-one students as well, Anthony. He was in one of the other YouTube videos. You can go ahead and check that out. He's one of my one-to-one students. And listen, with him, he, he's a super smart guy. You know, he's, experienced in so many other industries and businesses. But he had this sort of, when something bad happens, crumble and give into it, right? But with me, he learned to overcome that. Right? So let's say, for example, you have a chatter that's chatting on your model and the chatter quits, right? Don't panic. Treat it like feedback and upgrade it. You're going to get a new chatter. If an account gets banned, you're going to make a new account, okay? The skills you build through the process. You're going to build resilience. You're going to build adaptability. You're going to build leadership, okay? And leadership is the big one. So again, you can do these actions. You can stop, screenshot this here. And yeah, you can do that. So let's go into the long-term strategy, okay? Now, this is a strategy because you want a portfolio of multiple models, not just one model. So obviously, when you're starting, you're going to start with one, but, 2 months in, you're not only just going to have one model, right? You scaling one model to 50, 100K per month is going to be very hard. But scaling 5 models to 7K, 8K, it's pretty easy. When you've got 7 models doing that, you're eating a lot more than just one model trying to touch that 20, 30, 40. You understand what I'm saying? So, understand this. You guys need to all now go ahead and set yourself a 6 to 12 month vision. Okay, a lot of people in online business space, they expect things to happen overnight. And can things happen overnight? Yes, 100%. Okay, things can 100% happen overnight. But is it likely? Not 100% of the time. So again, for the next 6 months, you're going to want to set a target of 10 to 50K per month with my scalable systems. Okay, you're going to focus on consistency, repeatable funnels, and reliable operations. In the next 12 months, you're going to build a small team of 3 to 5 people. You're going to have a chat manager. You're going to have VAs. You're going to have operational support teams. Then, the next 12 months, you're going to aim for a diversified multi-platform agency and multi-model agency. You're going to build recurring revenue streams so you're not dependent on just one platform or one model. Okay, now, these are some of the platforms that you guys need to understand and that you guys need to utilize. You can start with the website Stacked. Now, Stacked is new. It is a FanView competitor, okay? And I love Stacked. It's great. it is not like fan view. Like a lot of fans, when they see the fan view link, they automatically assume it's going to be AI. Stacked don't have that right now, and Stacked are doubling creators' earnings. So if you earn $1,000 on Stacked right now, they will give you $1,000 back. If you earn 2,000, they'll give you 2,000 back. If you earn 10,000, they're gonna give you 10,000 back. They're doubling your earnings. No platform has ever done that. It's insane. And you know I'm cashing in. I'm cashing in. So after you've reached 20 to 30K per month, you should 100% scale to OnlyFans. Okay, 100%. You guys need to understand that you're doing the FanView AI model hybrid faceless stuff because it's easier than running a real OF model right now. In the future, when you're making cash flow, you've got AI models running, the operation is passive. You're going to scale to OnlyFans. And a lot of people in my community ask this to me as well. Yo, do you still run OF models? Do you still do this? Of course. Like, what the fuck? It's the highest converting platform. Why wouldn't you, right? So once you know how to get traffic, you're obviously going to run real models too and bring traffic to them as well. So don't just be in the box of like, you're going to solely run this AI agency for the rest of your life. No, this is a stepping stool to run even bigger things and run like a, 300K per month models, real girls that are killing it, right? Again, you can also test real models alongside AI models, okay? Now, for model portfolio planning, you're obviously in the future going to build out a model portfolio, risk reduction models and stability, right? So you're going to start with 3 to 5 models. Once scalable, you can then go on to 10 to 15 models. Ideally, you want each model to make 3 to 6K per month. It is very important that they do that because if you've got 5 models doing that, you're looking at a lot of money. You're looking at like 30 to 50K. Build your team gradually. In terms of hiring, we're going to get more into details in this shortly, but hire chatters first, then add a chat manager. One manager can often handle 5 to 10 models. Add a traffic and content manager once you scale beyond 30K. Diversify channels. Don't just rely on organic reels. You should be taking advantage of IG Reels, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, paid ads, all of this and track all ROIs, okay? So let's go on to the 10K per month framework. All right, so this is the 10K per month framework. All right, so for you guys, you need to identify the real key revenue driving factors. And it's really, really important to understand these things. And yeah, so the highest factors are high quality chatting. Again, the conversion and the upsells is very important because, again, most of your revenue is going to come from chatting. At least 80% of it is going to come from chatting. The next one is obviously consistent traffic because without fans to sell to, how are you going to make money, right? And then solid content cadence, right? Keeping subs paying and keeping subs buying. So you guys really and truly to get to this big number of 10K in your guys' eyes, it's massive, right? You guys are going to obviously have to perfect your chat strategy. It's one of the main things, right? And a lot of people just go and outsource chatting agencies and all of these things, but if you really want to be making this amount of money, no chatting agency is going to be able to do that. And furthermore, if they are, they're taking a very big cut of your money for doing the exact same thing that you could do with less of your time, right? So again, move on from the small talk and again, more anticipation and offer. Again, when you are training, train the chatters on personalization. Remembering certain things about the fans. If the fan said he has a dog called Ruba, then obviously tell the fan to note this down and you can bring it back up in conversation at a later date. Just makes it seem, again, more real and yeah, you're just going to get more sales. Tease to build anticipation and then obviously sell the pay-per-view. And again, the main thing here is scenario building. When it comes to chatting, building scenarios is super important. Like if we went on a date and this happened, then that led to this happening, what would you do? And then after he says what he would do, then you'll be like, then what would happen if we did this to that? And you can build up a story and angle it right into your pay-per-view, literally. And again, timing. Do not spam pay-per-views. It's super important that you don't spam them, okay? So do not spam pay-per-views. And again, don't wait too long in between either, right? Because at the end of the day, we don't want it transactional, but you need to make sales. If you just make it seem like he can just chat for free forever, then you're not going to make any money. Right, so in terms of your traffic acquisition plan to obviously reach that 10K month, you're obviously going to be needing some good organic channels. Now, Organic is a great method of traffic. It converts a lot lower, but it is a great method of traffic. So never, ever don't not run it. You're always going to run organic, always in the background, whether it's performing or it's not, you're always going to run it. So core organic content channels. Instagram Reels is great. TikTok is also great. And YouTube Shorts is a super untapped one that people don't really lock in too much on. Then you've obviously got Reddit, and you've got obviously the funnels with Telegram. And again, paid ads is a mad one. We've actually been testing this over the past couple of weeks. And there is a method to it, but it's pretty costly. We will break that down in a completely different video. Maybe on one of the tier 2 group calls that we do for our community. Maybe we'll drop it on there. So get inside the Discord if you haven't. Again, remember the rules. Post daily all the time. Track what content drives in clicks and subs. And again, double down on what actually performs. Don't keep doing stuff that's not performing. All right. So for content strategy, in terms of your actual page, your models page, whether that be on Stacked, OF, FanView, whatever, you need to be posting 3 to 5 times every single day on your wall post. This just ensures that, again, let's use FanView for an example. They have a Discover page on their platform, on their app, right? And I can actually show you this now, right? I can show you this page that they have. Okay, so I'm actually going to go ahead and show you now. So let me go to FanView. I'm actually logged in on one of the mentees accounts right now. So again, this is how some of them are performing right now. Yesterday, some of the mentees did $900. Pretty cool. But anyway, back to the point, right? This is what you want to see. So let me show you. Let me figure out how I can go back. I might have to go onto a model, for example. And yeah, so when fans subscribe to a model's page, they also have a Discover page right here on their page. So with this, what happens is when you even bring fans to the page, your fans are also going to go off and follow and subscribe to other model on this Discover page. So that's the thing. You need to be able to post multiple times per day on your wall post, safe for work content, not nude. All right, safe for work content on the wall posts multiple times per day for fans and followers. All right, it's a must. It is a must. Okay. So in terms of, again, make sure it's free teasers and premium pay-per-views. Keep that in the vault. And again, daily systems, traffic, allocate at least 1 to 2 hours of your day for, again, creating content, posting, distribution. And again, even strat, right? Because your strategy is the most important thing. We're going to break down some funnels in this as well that you can do. But again, your chat is important as well. This requires, obviously, daily performance login, tracking revenue, subs, the conversion rate. Have a daily schedule. No gaps in between, boys, all right? This is a real business. As you can see, there's a lot of moving parts within this, okay? So, student action steps for you guys. Define your target fan count, how many fans you want. Pick your organic funnels. Also, commit to the daily posting. Don't miss a day. Map all your data, especially for organic. And again, review weekly how much funnels are doing, which ones need to be burnt, and which ones need to carry on. And that is the 10K per month framework. So let's now go on to the delegation and team structure. Actually, furthermore, let's go on to that later, okay? All right, boys, before we go into the marketing and all that stuff for your model, again, if you want to learn how to create your model, I have a video on that too. We also have a software for all of our members in our Discord as well that you can use and generate your model. Again, that is the least important part of the process. It's very easy to generate safe for work pictures of your model. Super, super simple. I have a video out on it so you guys can watch. But I actually want to talk about the whole actual agency flow and structure of your business, because a lot of people get it confused. They normally think, let me run one model and get that model to 50 or 100K per month. Now, doing that is extremely hard and extremely unlikely, especially with the competition nowadays. But realistically, it's a lot easier to run 5 to 10 to 15 models and get them all to 5K per month. Very, very easy. So again, understand that what I teach and what I tell you guys, it's not about making one model 50K per month. If that was the case, you guys will be grafting for a long time. That will be very, very hard and unobtainable for the majority of people to keep a model earning 50K per month solely on FanView, solely as a hybrid AI model. Very unrealistic. If people are showing results like that, it is more than likely fake. All right. So this is how we've ran from the beginning of our agency. We didn't just run one. We saw that one worked, and then we did 5, and then we did 10, then we did 20. Then we scaled all the way up to 100 plus AI model hybrid accounts. So this method, this whole strategy, what I teach you guys is actually about running 5 to 15 models, okay, with systemized traffic, structured chatting teams, and predictable scaling. Because subs high plus revenue low, it means you've got a chatting problem, right? So honestly and truly, it's a lot easier to build, as I said, 5 models to 5K each, rather than one model doing 25K per month, right? It's a lot easier to get models to 5K. I promise you, it's so easy. All right, especially if you're watching this video, you can go ahead and get a model to 5K within the first couple of weeks. Seriously, watch my YouTube. There is so much source. All right, so agency flow. This is the bigger picture of how your agency sort of is going to look like. Again, I flowed this all out so it's easy to understand. Right, you get traffic. Traffic goes to the subscriber. Obviously, the traffic converts subscribers. Then you have chatters that will chat to them and then make sales. After that sale, the chatters focus on retaining them and then repeating the process, right? And when you repeat that over multiple models, right, it's all going to make sense and it's going to make a lot of money, right? So you just got to make sure that, one, you don't have a traffic problem, you don't have a conversion problem, and you don't have a management problem, okay? So as a solo operator, meaning you, yourself, what you should do. This is exactly what you should do. You should start to 1 to 2 models, all right? At the start, you're pretty much going to handle everything. You're going to handle the traffic, the posting, the payouts, the monitoring, the organizing the vault, the managing the chatters, the hiring chatters. You're going to do all of this because it is essential that you get the experience and the live XP in doing this. So when you do scale, it's a lot easier, right? If you just pay, agencies to outsource chatters and, organize the vault, like, you're not learning anything, right? You're not going to be able to scale when all these people fucking disappear, right? So again, ideal setup, 1 to 2 models, 3 chatters, sorry, can handle all of them models. Their chatters are obviously going to work 8-hour shifts each. And again, they're obviously going to work within the Philippines. So they're going to be on Filipino target. All right. So this is what your revenue targets, and again, realistically, should look like. Once your traffic is running, you really should be aiming for $200 to $1,000 per day. Right. Honestly, if you're, averaging per model 3 to 6K, you are onto a winner. You can repeat this again and again and again. With one extra model, that's 12K. And the funny thing is, you can share fans across your models. If you've got multiple models with traffic, you can shout each other out. It's literally free. All right. And typical margins, FanView take, FanView take 20% of your revenue. And again, you're going to be using chatter, so maybe another 10%. So again, you're looking at like a 70 to 80% profit margin on FanView. And on OnlyFans, you're looking at 60 to 70%, right? The goal is to stabilize one model and then just replicate it, right? If you get one model to 3K, 5K, do the exact same thing. All right, now in terms of traffic sources, this is where it gets interesting. Our main traffic source is Threads to Telegram to FanView, right? So we bait people on Threads, we bring them to Telegram, we have a chat bot that chats to them and converts them to FanView. All right, and then obviously Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, YouTube Long Form, TikTok, that is all organic. That will all run pretty much simultaneously all the time for you guys. It's not something you need to spend a crazy amount of time on. You're going to want to figure out methods like these. All right, I have a full video on this as well if you want to go ahead and check that out. Then you've got Reddit. Reddit is a good one, but it's also hard because there's a lot of competition and a lot of people with budget that will pay and get your account banned within minutes if you're getting any trending on their subreddit. So Reddit's good if you've got money. If you haven't, it's not great. X is okay. X is okay. I have never really ran it as like a proper funnel, but I know people that run X, especially mass DMs, and it can work depending on how you set it up and the amount of money you invest into it. And again, paid ads, I'm going to drop a full video on Discord on this, so we'll ignore that for now. But yeah, rule, start managing the traffic yourself and then outsource once you understand it, you have the margin, and you're able to train a virtual assistant yourself to take it off you. All right, now your chatters, because these guys, the chatters, are the people that are going to make you the most money. Okay, so let's quickly talk about your chatters. Okay, chatters. This is where the scale breaks. All right, this is where you can either make a lot of money or lose a lot of money and mess up everything. So per model, again, 3 to 5 models, you can have 3 chatters running all of them. Right, they can chat on multiple models per shift, especially if there's not that much traffic. They can do that. So yeah, for one team, you're gonna have 3 chatters. They're gonna work 8-hour shifts, and that equals 24-hour coverage. Their compensation at the start will only be commission, But if they are profitable and it makes sense for you to pay them a low pay per hour, like a $2 per hour, and like a 0 or 1%, then it makes more sense to do that, do it. So when you're scaling 3 to 10 models, you're ideally going to want to add a chat manager. This guy is going to be responsible for hiring new chatters in the Philippines. He's going to be Filipino. He's going to be responsible for training them. Literally everything, okay? So once you have a manager, he can really and truly handle 3 to 5, maybe even more models, up to 10 if he's structured and if he's a really good team manager. So the manager's responsibility will obviously be training, hiring, enforcing scripts if you have scripts to use, monitoring their activities, making sure that nobody's scamming on the account, and making sure if there's low performance, what is going on, and make sure they all report their daily KPIs. And again, daily check-in with chatters, 3 to 4 day performance feedback. And again, it matters because, again, chatters always are scared of being scammed. And again, motivation does drop without any oversight and real management. Unmanaged chatters become a liability, boys. I promise you, it cannot get good. So the KPIs, the actual metrics that matter within your business that you're starting. The first one is obviously going to be your daily subscribers that you're bringing into your model, your daily revenue, your revenue per subscriber that you're bringing in, and your chatters pay-per-view close rate. A pay-per-view is, says in the name, a pay-per-view. They pay, it's the locked content in the messages. So, and obviously, again, another metric that's really important is the first 24 hours of the revenue of the new subscriber that came in. That's super important. So, as a quick diagnosis, you can use this. If your subs are up and your revenue's low, you've got a chatting problem, right? If your revenue's up and your subs are low, then obviously you've got a traffic problem. All right, so content production flow. This is really important. AI images, honestly, you can generate them yourself first. When you're consistently aiming to like $200 to $1,000 per day, you can just outsource all of your model generation pictures to a VA. There's so many VAs. I've got like 100 Telegram hiring channels in my Discord, so you can go over there and get them as well. But yeah, keep outsourcing, the standard, right? Same prompt, same style, same workflow. Just get a good VA to do it. And again, as I said before, 3 to 5 day posts, 3 to 5 posts per day on your fan view wall posts. And again, if you're not visible daily, you will get forgotten by the fans. Trust me, there's so many people out here trying to steal your fans. So in terms of your vault content organization, obviously you're going to use Google Drive. You can store it on your desktop as well, or any reliable storage. Obviously, for a model, you can name the first folder Model A. Then you can do outfit scripts, lingerie, script 1, script 2, teasers, full pay-per-views. Again, it's not mandatory, but again, it increases efficiency for long-term scaling, so it's ideal to do that. So again, just to repeat the scaling philosophy, guys, again, the real and truth about it is high volume model portfolio. So like you really want like 5 models doing like 5K each, and that's like an easy 25K per month. And again, it's a lot easier to handle 5 models than it is to handle 1. So again, 10 models doing 4K is 40K per month. And again, getting 10 models to 4K is so easy. Let's say you only have 2 of your models with traffic. You can share them fans across, and all of them can make 4K with just a few whales or 1 whale. Literally, it's that easy. It's done time and time again, right? And it's a lot more achievable than getting 1 model to 50K per month. That's a lot less realistic, especially on FanView. So this is what breaks when you are scaling up to multiple models. The chat quality will drop. Chatters will stop showing up. Payments will be disputed. People will ask for more. People will say they've made this amount. Again, if you don't have good managers, it becomes chaos, all right? And traffic usually scales if diversified. If you've just got one funnel running, you're really and truly you're in a burning car. Like your car's on fire, mate. You're gonna die, because at the end of the day, one funnel, as soon as that goes down, your whole traffic, your whole system is done. So stage 1, this is where you are at right now. You're gonna have 1 to 2 models, and you are gonna handle absolutely everything. When you are starting to scale and you've seen some revenue being generated, some traffic coming in, you can start scaling to 3 to 5 models, 1 chat manager, and again, you can have a lot of chatters depending on what funnel you're running. If you're running the Discord method that I'll go into in a second, you will have a lot of chatters on commission running the traffic funnel to that. So again, you're going to start seeing a lot of employees coming in as soon as you're scaling up. Again, stage 3, this is when you're at a real agency at 5 to 10 models. You're obviously going to have like 2 to 3 chat managers, 24-hour oversight of pretty much everything. And obviously a KPI good hiring pipeline. That is super important. So let's go into the security control. Once you've got your accounts, you've got your models, you've got your agency, the platform logins are only owned by you. No one will have the logins. You have 2FA and all your models. No one has this, only you. No master access, no payout control. In terms of FanView, a lot of people say, I need to use a VPN to go on FanView. No, you don't. You can just use your normal internet, like you're cool. No proxies required for like chatters and stuff like that. Always you control accounts. FanView have a management option. So this is the real business. Most beginners think it's traffic. It actually is traffic consistency, chat discipline, and your structure of your whole agency. Without structure, scale becomes completely chaos and pretty much unobtainable. But with structure, scale becomes easy and easy to duplicate as well. And again, for a final rule, build 1 to 2 stable models and just replicate it. Never launch 5 models with no system, all right? Stabilize, duplicate, stabilize again, and then duplicate again. All right, that's how you're going to make the most money with that. So in terms of the payouts, because again, we're going to go into the whole chat stuff shortly, but payouts are pretty important, you know, when we're talking about virtual assistants, even not chatters, when you hire people to do things for you. This is how it all works, and the platform fees as well. So let's go into it. So you have, when you are picking your platforms, you have to understand what platform is going to be best for you. You have OF, which there's many of pros and cons of that. You have FanView, there's many cons, and there are also pros as well. And then you have Stacked, the new dog in the game. The one that I personally am running multiple models on right now because they only take 10%, you know, and they're matching your earnings by 2 right now. So if you go on Stacked right now and host your model, you make $2,000, they're going to 2x that. They're going to give you 2K back, right? Stacked as well pays out a lot quicker. A lot quicker, boys. Like literally every 3 or 4 days, they get payout straight to your Stripe or your bank. Super easy. And again, they are earning and matching your earnings. It's great. So calculations on your chatters. How much do you pay your chatters? You pay chatters based on net revenue, not gross. As again, FanView or your platforms take 10, 20%. So your commission tiers are typical. If they're a new chatter, you'll pay them 5 to 10%. If they're making crazy sales and you want to, you can pay them 15% to keep them motivated. Again, choose your tier based on your traffic and your current model earnings. If none, go for this range here. And again, payout schedule. This is important. Recommended rollout. Start with weekly payouts. After the first week, then you can consider moving them to bi-weekly. Just to get their trust in, and then you can move it to bi-weekly because again, paying weekly is long. You want to do it bi-weekly or monthly, but you need to get their trust first. And again, when you're paying these Filipinos, a great one to pay them with is CoinPH. You can pay them within crypto and they can get paid out to their Filipino banking. Or again, if you have PayPal, you can use PayPal, Wise, or just normal SEPA transfer, bank transfer, international wire, whatever you want. Pick a method that you can run reliably and consistently. I choose CoinsPH because crypto is a lot easier. And again, tracking your payout logs, create payout logs, spreadsheets of like everything, the dates, the models, the gross revenue, the platform fee, your net revenue, your commission, your chatter payouts, payment dates, literally everything. You need a full audit trial so things don't get messy. And again, you've got your checkbox here. You can again take a screenshot, but this is your action steps. Choose your platform. I would go with Stacked. Decide your commission for your chatters. Get them working. Obviously, bring traffic and maintain that you're tracking all this data because that is super, super important. So let's actually go on to the marketing. The biggest thing in this industry is marketing because where are you going to get your fans from, right? Alrighty, so this is updated to 2026. I updated this literally. I made this marable the other week. So this is updated new information to this day. So if you're happy about that, smash a like, boys. So generic is dead, boys. All right, your girl next door, your typical niche, your typical beautiful blonde girl, beautiful brunette girl, typical Asian girl. It's all flooded, boys. It's done. All right, you cannot launch. Well, you can, but it's very hard to launch a successful, boring model, especially as an AI model nowadays. You need something. Again, you need something smart. So again, one model equals you can turn them into many identities. I break this down in my funnels. You can have like a normal base face, so her normal basic face, but then you can change her niche. You can turn her into a goth girl, all these other different niches, her makeup, her aesthetics, and her persona, and run multiple traffic funnels, a little pyramid of traffic, micro niche, and like spacing out your niches, multiple different niches. Let's say you've got a goth girl, You can put her into like, find a heavy metal band that has like a really tight community, start posting niche videos in that niche. So it's going to target them. You're going to get a lot less views, but you're going to get more conversions and a lot higher spenders. So again, it's not all about getting 10 million views on your video. It's about getting good converting fans. All right. And again, you can do this on IG, TikTok, Threads, X, Reddit, etc. And all of this traffic can go straight to one fan view page. You can run 10 niches for one goal and test, because it's all about data. All right. So it's data first, test fast, kill the losing niches, and scale the winning niches. All right. Emotional realism wins as well. Daily updates, unscripted chats, shit like that. All right, the niching tree. All right, this is where your niche for the models comes in, because remember, let's say you've got one model, you can niche her into multiple things. So your one model, you can have a page running for her where she's in the anime niche. You can have it running in the goth niche, in the modern GFE, just normal emotional girl niche, fitness niche, office girl, soft feminine sort of Y2K, like butterfly light girl, a fetish girl, like a BDSM, like chains, and then a luxury businesswoman. You can have all of these niches running for one model, bringing traffic in to that one fan view or stacked or whatever you're hosting your model on page, right? So level 2, sub deep niches, all right? Branch the winners. So if cosplay performs well, you can even specify another page into an even more specific fandom, whether it be like Genshin or kawaii game, a girlfriend, or whatever it is. Goth girl, you can niche her into a page where she does like vampire witch sort of content. Then another page where she does like scene 2000s sort of content. Revival band, like old band music vibe, right? GFE, busy college student, long distance girlfriend, right? This is sort of the good niches. You can like sub niche so hard. And again, the step-by-step scaling process is really, really simple, boys. Step 1, build the core model. So just have your basic normal model. You know what she looks like, a good happy face that you can turn her into anything. And again, you can use tools like Nano Banana to keep model consistent. Create, again, a couple of niches to start, just so you can get some sort of ideas of what your models are going to look like. Again, brainstorm ideas. You can use cosplay. You can use all of these that I just went over. And again, create accounts. Obviously, you're going to create IG. I would start to 3 to 5 accounts. Again, I have the full breakdown of your device setup, of how to set up your devices to run IG, to run TikTok. All of these setups are in my Discord, boys. I hate to keep plugging it, but it's in there. So go in my Discord. All of that shit is literally in there. All the providers I use, the proxies, the tools, literally everything is in my Discord, boys. So again, create 3 to 5 IG accounts, TikTok 3 to 5 accounts, and Threads 2 to 4 accounts to start. You can start with Reddit as well. You can use the Discord method, Telegram methods. And again, content rule, as I said, tailor it. You know, multiple pages in multiple different niches. All right. So step 5, obviously test and keep everything dated down. I know it's annoying. A lot of you guys may not even know how to use the data things to track this shit down. But get to know, use AI, speak to ChatGPT, figure it out, because it is essential that you mark shit like this down, right? You have your cosplay pages, you have 12 accounts running, the conversion rate is 14, the paid fans coming in, the revenue from them subs, the status, what we need to do, scale. Like, you need everything tracked, and the more you track, the more success and the less messy it will become, and like the more results you'll see. A lot of people, again, they make an AI model, they post reels, they don't track anything, they don't track the accounts that get banned, they don't track the accounts that are performing, they don't track what videos are performing. Like, they're just doing things at random, right? It's great to have a plan and a structure. So you can take this, everything that I'm showing you here, and you can replicate this literally for yourself. So again, if you're seeing a 10% conversion rate on some of these funnels, scale them aggressively, slap loads of budget, run more accounts. If you're seeing under 5% CVR, you can test it for a little longer and kill it if it doesn't really perform. Again, reinvest 55% of all of your revenue into the winning ones. So if cosplay is winning, as you can see, you're going to reinvest pretty much a lot of this money, at least half of it. I know you want to keep money in your pocket, but trust me, the more you reinvest, you'll get way more back, all right? So that's just the rule of thumb. All right, boys. So let's quickly go into the advanced tips quickly for 2026 dominance, right? Hybrid niches win. So cosplay, stuff like that, games, anime spikes. It's just free traffic, right? Just ride all the trends that you see. Anything you see your competitors are doing that are performing, make a page like theirs, replicate it with your model. Steal, steal, steal. All right, explore under tapped create angles. You know, maybe you can make a Mao model, right? A Mao AI model. Then build non-adult bleed fitness niche for longevity, right? And again, you can use audios on threads on your fan view page to again just build more retention and more realism. All right. So again, a quick template for you guys here. You can have a look, take a screenshot if you shall please. But yeah, let's go into your actual link in bio setup, because this is super important, because once you're bringing in fans, right, like you're going to be like, how do I get them to my page? How do I get them to convert? How do I put the link in my bio without getting banned? So we use something called Bouncy. And Bouncy is good. And Bouncy is good because at the end of the day, it like deep links any link you have and makes it so the platforms don't detect it. And it auto directs them onto their browser instead of an in-platform pop-up, which is super good. So again, you need to go over here and have a look. So create your account on their website, boys. Go to Bouncy, create your account. You can use the free one. Create a burner email, secure the password, verify it. Then, of course, go ahead and create a new link. Choose Smart Link or Redirect option. Obviously, again, rename it for, you know, the funnel that you were using, because you can have multiple Bouncy links and you can test different landing pages. So, choose your destination. Option 1, the 2-link strategy, right? You can send them to a Bouncy link that has a Telegram, right? And it sends them straight to Telegram. Or you can send them directly to your Bouncy link straight to your fan view. So there's 2 ways of doing it. Or you can send them to a Bouncy page where it has your fan view and it has your Telegram, right? So you can warm up the fans on Telegram and then convert them to fan view. But for the really serious guys, they can go ahead and convert straight away. So you can test this. It works really, really well. It's the best one, the best link in bio sort of thing that I've used personally. Enable auto redirect if available. Turn on auto redirect and turn it to 0.0 to 1 second, and disable preview buttons. Goal is to realistically get them to click, instant landing, and no friction at all. Customize the appearance, neutral title. You can have a clean background, no explicit wording, no emojis. And step 6, copy and paste the final Bouncy link into your Threads bio, Instagram bio, whatever you want. And again, make sure that you can test it out. It loads fast. It redirects to all of the funnels that you're trying to do, and there are no errors. All right, so let me zoom in. You can obviously set it on your Instagram, as I said. Important rules: never place your cold like fan view page or anything inside your Instagram bio or any bio at that fact. Always use the Bouncy as the middle layer. Test if the link works. Pretty much try and do it weekly. If conversions drops, test a new Bouncy link. Keep naming organized per model, just as again, keep it all structured in a data. Make sure everything is understandable for you, and if you gave it to somebody else, they could understand it, right? That's what you want. Rotate links if detected. Sometimes these links can get detected, so you'll have to rotate sometimes if you see the links pop out. Or conversions a lot less. That it could be a reason. And yeah, that's that. In terms of that, so let me just go into the traffic flow, right? So Instagram and TikTok, you'll take them to a Bounty link. If you want, you can take them to Telegram to warm them up and then take them straight to a cold page. Or you can take them directly from here straight to the cold page, but you're going to see a lot less conversions doing it that way. So that is sort of the rule of thumb in that sort of aspect. Most revenue. Okay, now these are all the core things you need to run a good chatting agency for yourself and not for others, may I clarify. So we're going to be breaking down everything from start to finish. Okay, so first of all, let's just clarify what we're actually doing here. Okay, so what we're actually selling, we're selling attention, fantasy, exclusivity, emotional experience. Okay, and now this is what we're not selling. Okay, we're not making it transactional, we're not spamming, we're not begging, and we're not just dropping random photos for them to pay for. Okay, again, what we are selling is story to tension to offer to conversion. Okay, and that's how, in overall basic sense, how chatting works and what you are selling. Okay, so let's go over to the 4-phase chatting structure, just so you can understand what really chatting actually is, and how it sort of works. Okay, so what chatting actually is. Okay, chatting is emotional control, a power dynamic management, meaning that the fan doesn't have power. Okay, the model, the creator, you have all of the power. Okay, then building anticipation and delayed gratification. And again, the main one is selling fantasy. Okay, fantasy is the most important thing, because again, that is the most important thing that we're selling is fantasy, right? That's what gets them to buy. That's what gets them to think about the model day in, day out, okay? So what chatting is not. Chatting is not. Just to stop the video, I wanted to let everybody know about my Discord channel that is free to join, right? This is where I host my paid community and also my free community. So everybody here, you can join for free. There's scripts, there's free source in there. You can speak to me. You can ask me any questions. I'm always in there. I'm always active. Even if you're not in the paid community, I'm still going to be there. I'm still ready to answer your questions, and I'm here to help you. And again, delete all of the fog that's in this space, because a lot of people don't understand how you actually run this business. So that's why I'm here. I'm here to help. And yeah, there's so many cool things inside too. There's workers at FanView inside as well. So the actual platform owners are inside of the Discord. So if you ever have any issues with the platform, setting up an account, things like that, the support team are also inside of my Discord. So yeah, we're backed by all the platforms. We're winning. And yeah, get inside if you're not already. The link is at the top of the description. And yeah, all right, cool. Not spamming pay-per-views, which is just sending paid pictures all the time. It's not begging for tips. A lot of chatters will get on accounts and be like, please unlock, please, 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 and like beg for money, which is a big no-go. You do not want to be begging for tips, okay? And again, sending content instantly is also a big no-go, right? Because again, that's making it feel super transactional straight away. Okay, and then acting desperate. Again, that sort of relay is going back onto begging for tips and spamming. It sort of makes you seem very, very desperate. Okay, now the main rule of thumb when it comes to chatting is this: if the chat feels transactional, the revenue will always drop. Okay, but if the chat feels immersive, then the revenue will increase. Okay, so let's talk about the hook. The first 0 to 5 minutes of what the chat with the subscriber should look like. Okay, so the goal of this main 5 minutes is really to get them engaged, right? They might be a new fan, they might be a returning fan. Again, it goes for both, because even if they are a returning fan, you don't just want to push a bunch of paid content on them straight away, right? So the number one thing is to, again, get them engaged, okay? So keep it short and playful, okay? Pull them back in if they are already a subscriber, right? If they're new, hey, what are you doing right now? Or if they're old, hey, you disappeared on me yesterday, or whenever they did, I've missed you, okay? Number one thing, do not sell instantly. This is what will butcher your accounts with any fan, because again, some whales might not even spend instantly, and if you kill a fan, it could potentially be a whale, right? And now, the first 5 to 30 minutes is the most important part, okay? So this part is to build connection, and really so we can understand what sort of buyer this guy is. Is he going to be someone that's going to be spending big? Is he going to be someone that's going to be spending small? Okay, so, we want to find out what he does for work, what his, how much money he makes without asking that, obviously, and just understanding, does he have a wife? Does he have kids? These sort of things, his day to day, what he does. Okay, so again, the chatter must match energy, mirror the tone, and ask open-ended questions and flirt lightly. Now, when I say match energy, what do I mean? Because this is actually super important, the matching energy part, right? If the fan comes in super sexual, then your chatter needs to, again, match their energy. They still need to be sexual, but again, they need to build it up. They can't just be full on the same as him. They need to, again, be teasing and build it up and up and up, right, to be able to sell. If they come in sexual, most chatters normally think, let me just sell now and make some money, right? No. Okay, you still got to build up. You still have to take that 5 to 30 minutes, even if they're coming in sexual. Maybe you just have to build them up for 30 minutes, 15 to 30 minutes of just being sexual. Again, if these are free fans, you can cut this down to about 15 minutes, 5 to 15 minutes. But if they're paid fans, 5 to 30 minutes is a nice key point for you there. So, okay. Now, what you are diagnosing is if they're lonely, if they're horny, if they're emotional, or if they're really here just to be transactional and just literally they're here to buy content. Some fans are like this, depending on your traffic funnel. A lot of Reddit fans are like this, but, most of the fans are normally sitting around these three right here. That's pretty basic. That obviously different buyer types require different angles, of course. So now let's talk about the golden rule, the third bit of the 4 angles that are the most important. So the longer these guys speak before purchasing, the higher the purchase amount will be, right? Best sales often happen between 30 and 60 minutes into the conversation. So obviously, if you're doing this, you start the conversation and then your chatter sells after 2 minutes, he buys, maybe the conversation will most likely end after the first or second pay-per-view. Or mainly, if he doesn't buy, because obviously, super quick, super transactional, then the conversation ends and you've lost a fan, right? What you should be doing is starting the conversation, building up a story or a scenario that's interesting in his head, creating desire, that's super important, and then selling, right? And then you can obviously repeat and go ahead and repeat the process again and again and again with that same fan. So just remember that that is really important. If you do it, the really shitty way, then again, you're going to lose fans, lose potential whales, and that's obviously not what you want, okay? So now let's talk about the escalation part, right? Now this is just before the pay-per-view, right? So again, what you need to do when you're chatting to them, you need to be scenario framing. So a good example of a scenario frame, you could say to him something like, if we was on a date right now and this guy hit on me, what would you do, right? And then he's going to say, oh, I would punch him in the face. And then you can say, oh, then what would you do, right? Then would you take me back downstairs after we get kicked out? Would you take me back to the hotel? And again, you're building a scenario and you're building it up and up and up, okay? And again, you're teasing exclusivity, right? So again, if you have voice notes too, this is great to have when you're chatting. You can actually generate these with 11 Labs, or you can literally pay a Filipino woman like $5 to $10 to generate you a bunch of voice notes, okay? And again, that's super important. If she's generating you a bunch of voice notes, you're then able to use these across multiple models. And again, that just adds in a little bit more of, personalization. And when you come to selling, you can sell a lot higher, okay? So again, as I said, I gave you an example just there, but we'll give another one. So an example escalation could be, I wish you could see what I'm wearing right now. And again, you're not selling anything right now. You're still building them up. It's all about building them up. Think of it like a graph, right? Like a crypto chart, right? You got to build them up and up and up and up and up. And right here is where you'd sell to them. And you got to build them up and up and up and up again, and then sell to them again. Okay, so again, the goal is to sell without ever breaking the fantasy. Never ever say, you don't want your chatters to say like, buy this pay-per-view or buy this. Because if they are saying stuff along the lines of this, again, it makes it transactional and not feel organic. Instead, they can slide something in like, I just took this right now just for you. Should I show you? And then he's going to be like, yes. And again, if he hesitates, you can, again, nudge him and be like, oh, so you're going to fold? And if he's like, yeah, then, again, he's not ready to sell. Don't sell him. Again, don't beg and do not discount. If he says, oh, this is too expensive, just don't discount it straight away. It devalues the model so much and devalues the creator. Remember, it's all about keeping the power dynamic intact. Model is here, this little dot, and the fan is down here. But the fan, obviously, is going to think he's up here. But subconsciously, you have to manipulate them into that, okay? So, let's go on to the daily revenue boost tactics, okay? So, again, when it comes to actually hiring and training chatters, these chatters will be running every shift, right? So, again, you want to be able to scroll down into past chats and reactivate old fans. It's one of the main things you want to teach them, because if you haven't got like a crazy flow of traffic, you still need to go back and reactivate old fans, right? So you can go ahead and get your chatters to have these little protocols just to boost revenue when revenue might be low. Going back to old fans, re-hitting them up, be like, did you forget about me? Maybe even send them a little gift. Not safe for work gift, but a little safe for work cute selfie to him. And again, you can do mass messages too. In terms of the mass messages rule, like you can exclude buyers. And just, they just use the setups really. So like you can send a selfie and be like, hi, what you're doing, and just make it seem organic, okay? So let's talk about quickly the performance metrics and the chat quality. Okay, so in terms of tracking, it's really important when you're running chatters and an agency to keep everything in track. Okay, this means your revenue per chatter shift. This means like every chatter's revenue you need down on a Google Sheets. They're going to traffic FanView CRM, or OnlyFans CRM will track it. But again, you also want to be in track of it as well. Okay, also their pay-per-view close rate, which basically means how many people unlock their pay-per-views out of how many chats that they send it in, right? Because this is important. This shows whether maybe they're selling too quickly or they're doing just fine, right? So again, you also need to check the first 24-hour revenue per new sub, because you want to see, how much money did they make with this fan every 24 hours, right? Every new fan that comes in. And again, you want to check the time of their first pay-per-view sale. Did they go too quickly? Did they go too slow? Did they mess it up? Again, if subs are high and the revenue is low, this means that there's a big chatting problem. This means that your chatters are terrible. You need to really go in and deep dive into the system and understand why your chatting is so bad. Now, if the revenue sub is high, but the super low volume of subs coming in, then you do not have a chatting problem, and you should probably go ahead and watch some of my traffic content on how to get traffic, because you have a traffic problem. Okay, and this is easily fixable, and also this is easily fixable with exactly this video that you're watching. So again, these are some common mistakes that your chatters are going to make, which you need to have zero tolerance for. Okay, so again, I just wanted to quickly mention about my one-to-one mentorships before you guys carry on enjoying all this sauce. Let me just speak to some of the serious people out there. If you are serious about starting your agency and you do want to get started right now and make money and have a guarantee in place that you will make a 2x on your investment, then there is one slot left to work with me, and I will hold your hand from start to finish, and by the end of it, I will give and hand off a fully fledged AI model agency for you to keep running and keep scaling. All of our mentees succeed. Here's one of our students right here on the screen as well, Avicii. He started with us a week ago and he's already up $2,200. He's already made back his investment that he's made to me within the first week. And every day he's averaging $600 to $700 per day on just one model. And next week we're scaling to another 3 models for him too. And there's so many other people like this inside of my private one-to-one access that are winning with my help. Now, if you want access to this, there's going to be a type form within the description. So make sure you click on that. And if it makes sense, we will call you and I will speak to you personally. On that note, let's get back to it. Enjoy the sauce. Sending full content, like full not safe for work content too early is a big no-go. You don't want them to do that. Okay? Again, discounting instantly, another thing you don't want them to do. Okay, avoid arguing with fans, avoid breaking the model's character, avoid copy and paste style chats, and again, avoid selling without tension. If you do this, you're not going to make any revenue. Okay, so that is again just another common mistakes chart that you guys can follow and understand. Okay, so let's look at the the script categories that you must have. And again, this is what you should have for most models inside of the vault. Again, you should have like a soft, flirty sort of vault, like a folder in the vault that is like cute, soft, and safe for work. Nothing too crazy. And you want one that's a couple videos, couple pictures that is her being very dominant and some her being very submissive. You can have some pictures of her looking again emotional, just being cute and playful in her bedroom, just being like a normal girlfriend. You can have a folder for some re-engagement pics. These are going to be some like teasing selfies. And again, you're going to have pictures and videos for big spenders too, long videos, long pictures. And you could even have a folder for like, discount pictures and stuff as well. And again, if you don't define categories, then obviously chatters are just going to freestyle and the quality is going to drop massively. Okay. So now let's quickly take a sip of this water and we'll go over the most important part, which is the training system and onboarding. So when you are hiring these chatters, there's a few things that you need to understand, okay? So you're obviously going to train these chatters, okay? Because if you don't train chatters, then you're just going to let them free run and they're just going to mess a lot of stuff up for you. So again, once the training has started, you're going to study the scripts that I've provided to you guys inside of my Discord. So if you're not inside of my Discord, get inside right now. I have chatting scripts in there, hiring scripts. I literally have all of my SOPs dropped in my Discord. So you can literally replicate my agency one-to-one. So get them to go over the scripts that I give you and train them on the call. Then on day one, once they've passed the call, you can bring them on for a trial shift. This is going to be an 8-hour shift where they're going to trial chatting on your account and you're going to watch them. You're going to shadow their chats, okay? Now, if they go good, you're going to keep them on and say, okay, we're going to go put you on for another day. This is another trial. We just need a little bit more data. And again, you want to see how they handle low quality fans because, of course, you're going to have some as well. And again, you're also going to see on day 2 to day 3 how they also handle whales. And that's very important, okay? So again, after 2 weeks, you should have a very good chat, okay? So if you just, watch and shadow that they're doing all of these things correctly, if they're doing this good and they're doing this good and they're doing this good and you're watching them, then again, in 2 weeks, they're going to be amazing, okay? And number one rule, just out of safety, just a little safety context, never give chatters full access to models. Some people don't know that. It's a pretty much no-go. Never give chatters full access, okay? And let's quickly talk about the power principle. Again, remember, you're not selling content. When you're training these chatters, you need to tell them, listen, you're not selling content. Obviously, you are. But you're actually selling attention, fantasy, exclusivity, and emotional experience. Content is just the delivery mechanism, okay? So that is the main thing that you need to understand, okay? Now, let's talk about where and how to hire chatters. Now, this is also very, very important as well, because if you don't hire the right chatters, you could be in for a messy day. You could be in for a very messy day. So understand that the best talent pool comes from the Philippines. Okay, these have the best English and affordability, and they have the most experience. The Philippines are full of chatters that do this work. I don't know why, but it is. It's full. So yeah, the core system, you make a job post. So you can do this on Telegram. You can do this on the website ofmjobs.com. You can do this on Reddit. Literally, there's so many places. I'll even help you guys out and leave 50 group chats in the description too. Actually, I'm going to leave it in my Discord. Get into my Discord. I'm going to leave it in my Discord. It's already there. So go in the Discord, get them channels, and you can post a job post. Then you can get them in a group chat. You can screen them. Then you can get them on for a live trial shift, onboarding. And then again, if they're onboarded, a weekly evaluation every single week. Okay? And now, just as an operating assumption, 50%, well, 30 to 50% of all of your hires will not last. So this will be like a constant thing of you hiring until you get team managers in. But again, there's a process to that. If you're at scratch, you don't just want to be bringing in team managers straight away. Okay, so again, where to find chatters? Here are some good ones. You've got Facebook and OF chatter groups. It's great. There's so many chatter groups on Facebook. You've got onlinejobs.philippines. You've got Upwork. You've got Discord hiring servers, Telegram hiring channels, and referrals from existing chatters. Okay, now, this is the hiring funnel, okay? Do not skip this part. If you're watching right now, do not skip. It is super, super important for these 3 steps, okay? Now, for the job post structure, keep it simple and structured, okay? Include the commission structure, their 8 hours per shift, their performance experience that they need, and their great English requirement, and it's a long-term opportunity. A lot of chatters look for long-term opportunities. They're sick of all these short-term agencies scamming them. So if you bring them something real, they're going to work for you. Whether it's a commission or a pay per hour, they're going to work because it's a real job offer. Okay? Now, in the hiring post that you're making on these channels over here, you're going to make sure to say, send me a voice note introduction. Okay? Because again, this filters a large percent of weak applicants pretty quickly, because you don't want a lot of fake Nigerians and Filipinos that don't have C1 or C2 English applying, okay? So, step 2, initial screening questions. These are important when you're on a call with them or you're typing to them before you hop on the call. So, you want to ask them, how long have they chatted on OF or FanView? What was their daily revenue? What was their commission that they was on? Can you handle 8-hour shifts every day? Can you also send a screenshot of past sales? Okay, if they can't show proof, assume they're either a beginner or a scammer. And if they've told you they've got experience, don't hire them if they've got no proof. That's a rule of thumb, okay? Then step 3, bring them on for the 8-hour trial shift. And again, get them to, again, see if they're doing all these things that you've taught them on call. And if they do, you're great, okay? Now, here are some red flags to, again, look out for. If they talk about money, if they demand high base, like a high pay rate salary immediately, don't hire them. If there's no proof, don't hire them. If they're, again, in their chat testing, if they're overly sexual too quickly, don't hire them. If they've got bad grammar, don't hire them. If they can't send a voice note, do not hire them. Okay. Now, the commission structure, this is what you're going to pay them for starting chatters. You're going to give them 5 to 10% of the chats that they generate, net revenue. Okay. After 2 to 3 weeks, maybe even 1 to 3 weeks of strong performance, you can maybe even, if it's profitable, add in a base pay and a commission. So like a $2 an hour, and you can take this down to 2%. So you're making a lot more money. So you can do $2 and 2%. Again, why commission only works right now is because, again, you're going to filter out all the lazy chatters and only get the people that believe in their skills that are going to apply. Okay, so for your shift structure, this is important as well. Per model, again, this 3 chatter thing, they can handle around 5 models, okay? So they can handle 5 models, 3 chatters. That's one team. 8-hour shift each. That means it's 24-hour coverage. And again, make sure you're always working in Filipino time zone, because it's just easiest to align all the chatters, and so no one gets confused, okay? And no one misses shifts. Okay, so on day 1, study scripts, read the SOPs. Obviously, this is when you're onboarding them, and make sure they understand the model tone. Day 2, you can either get them on straight away for their trial, or you can get them to shadow one of your existing chatters if you have one already. And again, get them to watch the conversation flow. Day 3, you can see how they handle traffic. You can put them on a model that maybe doesn't have too many fans or too many big spenders, or you can tell them, don't speak to the spenders, only speak to the low quality fans. I want to see how you do. And then again, by week 2, they should be able to handle high spenders, really, really big whales. And again, don't throw new hires that maybe don't have as much experience into whales immediately. You don't want them to mess up that, okay? And again, for the replacement system, because this is important in this whole chatting space, is you're going to be replacing and hiring new chatters, new managers all the time. It's unfortunate, but that's just how it is. So assume that 30 to 50% of your hires will not last, okay? As an operating rule, always be hiring new chatters and always keep 2 to 3 applicants ready all the time, okay? Now, 1 week of your chatters working, if everything's going great, they're working, give them a review. Obviously, you're going to pay them by day 7 to 14. So you're going to give them, obviously, how much the revenue they generated, how good they are at keeping engagement, how good they are at following the scripts, and again, their activity, their response time, rate, all these sort of things. Again, as a decision rule, low effort, low revenue, get rid of them, replace them, okay? Golden hiring rule. Remember this, guys. You're not hiring friends. Even if these guys seem super friendly, super nice, you want to help them, throw it out the way. This is a business at the end of the day. You're not hiring friends, okay? You're hiring people that are going to collect a shit ton of revenue for you. Take your emotion out and put the performance in, all right? That's just like a golden rule, all right? So now let's talk about the daily reporting system of all your chatters. This is a non-negotiable. This is what they should all be doing, literally every single one of them. So each chatters must submit. I know it tracks it already, but they should submit this, okay? Just so we can have it track. You guys will have a Discord or a Telegram where these chatters will be inside. They will drop an end of shift report, an EOD report, okay? Or an EOS report. A shift hours worked, so they've obviously worked their 8 hours. They would say 8 hours. Total revenue they've done, their biggest sale, numbers of pay-per-view sent, their notes on any certain whales or potential spenders for the next chatter to pick up on, or any issues or unusual conversations that, again, the next chatter can pick up on. If there's no report, give them a warning. Give it like a strike rule of 2 to 3 warnings. If they don't report, get rid of them. It's super important that you keep this quality, because when you scale higher past 3 chatters, past 1 team, you're going to want to make sure that you've got all this in control. Okay, make sure that the accountability is high and excuses are low. Okay, a lot of these chatters are going to be pretty lazy people. You have to drill into them that this is a real business. This is a real job. They're going to make a lot of money if they listen to you. Okay, now remember, KPI benchmarks, this is what you should be tracking. Revenue per shift, revenue per sub, pay-per-view close rate, open rate, the close rate, and the first time for sale, okay? Always check their chat quality. And again, if they're not making any sales, always check your traffic. That could be a reason as well. Okay, now for whale management protocol. Now, what is a whale? Let me quickly tell you guys. A whale is somebody that spends a lot or has a lot of money and that can spend a lot of money. So you have to protect these guys. Okay, so in reality, whales are often a small % of subs but drive the most revenue. I've saw even people inside of my Discord, my community, that have like 80 subs, free subs, that are making $10,000 per month from just a couple of whales. So again, make sure you mark the whales if you have any correctly, so chatters don't mess up. Do not rotate whales between chatters mid-conversation. Keep tone consistent and log preferences. Make notes of the whales. It's super, super important. Preferences, spending history, emotional triggers, and their last purchase. This will all say on the CRMs that you use too, but it's always good to keep in track too. All right, now, discount control SOP. All right, chatters often discount a close quickly. So as I spoke about before, they will try and give a discount if the fan doesn't buy. Now, don't discount without approval. Make sure you tell these chatters if they're going to discount it to message you first to review before they go ahead and discount it, because again, it devalues the model completely. Okay, never discount twice within the same conversation. Never lead with a discount, and discount only after resistance. Okay, read that again, boys. All right. If somebody only buys discounted, it's always going to just reduce attention and, again, retain big spending behavior, which is obviously not what we want. So, daily optimization routine, every 24 hours, okay? You're going to scroll back for the past 3 days. You're going to make sure that they re-engage fans, they follow up with unopened pay-per-views, they message people that have sent gifts, they mass message non-buyers, and they identify potential whales. That is super important. Again, script enforcement, quality control, audit chats. Make sure you question, is the tension being built? Is the escalation happening correctly? Are they selling too early? Are they breaking character? And again, remember, random audits prevent freelancing and laziness. All right. Now, movement and retention. All right. Chatters do burn out. It's super important to know that chatters are humans, just like me and just like you. They do burn out, okay? So it's always good to give them sort of incentives. Maybe weekly performance shout-outs in your chatter group chat. Maybe it's a revenue leaderboard so the chatters can see and they can sort of compete for that top spot. And you can also give a bonus for the biggest sale of the week, right? Which plays into these two as well. And again, small milestones incentives. If they make $2,000 in a week, maybe give them a bonus of $20 to $30. It does a lot for them. That covers weeks for them, okay? So make it competitive, but make sure it's managed correctly, okay? And again, replacement and performance warnings. Use this 3-tier system, okay? First issue is a verbal warning. Just hop on a call. Just let them know, like, listen, you did this wrong. Make sure you don't do this again. Second issue, make sure it's written and you tell them, listen, this is serious. There's one more issue left. If you do it again, we're going to have to replace you. This isn't a threat. This is just how we run this. We have to keep control and quality. So you can tell them, I really hope you understand it, but we have to do it, okay? And if they do it again, just replace them, all right? Rule, do not negotiate emotionally. Slow chatters will cost you thousands of dollars, all right? So let's talk about the owner's mindset shift, okay? You manage chatters. At scale, you still manage chatters. If you're personally still reading DMs at scale, you are still stuck in this low tier bracket, okay? Again, once you're scaling up, you get team managers that will, again, this whole document, they will be understanding this and they will be doing this job because, again, you need to build it. You need to do it first to understand it, okay? Now, once you understand this and you've been running all of this, let's talk about chat managers because they're going to be the people that handle all of this for you. They're going to be the ones that are hiring, they're training, that are doing everything for you. So let's talk about them quickly, okay? Chat managers, okay? Make sure that when they are hiring, they are handling 2 to 3 models or 6+ chatters, okay? Structure, again, you send to chat managers and chat managers send to chatters, okay? So what do you actually need? When do you actually need a chat manager, okay? So do not hire one yet if you only have one model, if you have under 3 chatters, okay? If revenue is not constantly hitting 5 figures per month, you do not need a chat manager, okay? If you are, then yes. If you have 2 to 3 models, you have 6+ chatters, and again, you're spending hours per day managing them, then you need a chat manager, correct? So what a chat manager actually does, okay? A chat manager is not another chatter. They're not a team motivator, and they're not just a random virtual assistant. A chat manager monitors the chatter's performance. they approve the discounts, they audit the chats daily, they report revenue summaries, they manage shift, they handle replacements, they protect whales. They do a lot, okay? So once you do have a chat manager, it's pretty simple. You to the chat manager to the chatters. Chatters do not report to you directly when you have a chat manager. They go all the way to him, and then he will report to you if it's really necessary and it's really worth your time. All questions go through the manager. It prevents chaos, mixed instructions, and authority confusion. This leaves and means you can focus a lot more on scaling your traffic. Now, if you want the full chat manager SOP, I am also dropping it over in my Discord. So if you are at that stage, go over to my Discord and get inside. We drop so much source in my Discord. And as the last thing, if you are interested in getting mentored by me one-to-one, I provide guarantees in place. I provide a 2x return on investment within the first 30 days. It's legally binding and protected. If you do want to get involved and you are more serious, then get inside and message me on Discord and we will speak. But yeah, if you did enjoy this, drop a like, drop a comment, drop a sub, and I appreciate all of the love and support that the community is showing. And let's keep scaling this and giving you guys the real information and the real source. Yo, everybody, if you enjoyed that full AI blueprint and all of the processes of this business and how it works for a beginner, then make sure you go ahead and leave a like and you join the private Discord. If you do want mentoring by me, you can go ahead and apply in the type form below. I'm accepting one last person. So if that is you, we can get started. We have guarantees in place and let's get cooking. Again, just one rule of thumb for everybody. Don't fall for the bullshit. Don't fall for the LARPs. Everybody's capping in this space. So you need to understand that most of the shit you see in this space on Telegram and YouTube, it's mainly bullshit. I'm here to reveal the real source. So drop a sub and let's fucking get it, boys.